told you that I don't wanna go back. I'm just afraid that I'll lose you, and I don't wanna hide or waste another life. Told you that I don't wanna go back. I'm just afraid that I'll lose you, and I don't wanna hide or waste another life. You know left in the pool of my own mess. When I said I'm gonna change, you made me pick up the broken glass. Don't want it to be in vain, no, but to slow things down and clear my mind. It's like leaving a toxic friend behind. You say yes, and you don't make waves. I don't need to say it, you know that I'll try. And I don't wanna hide or waste another life. Say no, and I will let go. I don't need to say it, you know that I'll try. And I don't wanna hide or waste another life. Would you believe if I told you that I don't wanna go back? I'm just afraid that I'll lose you, and I don't wanna hide or waste another life. You say yes, and you don't make waves. I don't need to say it, you know that I'll try. And I don't wanna hide or waste another life. Say no, and I will let go. I don't need to say it, you know that I'll try. And I don't wanna hide or waste another life. I thought I wanted to save us, but I was stuck in the past. Messed me up, I wanted to hurt. Just give me something that lasts. I think you know what I'm made of, yeah. So where am I in this maze? Paint a picture in vivid color. Can't tell the black from the grays. To slow things down and clear my mind. It's like leaving a toxic friend behind. You say yes, and you don't make waves. I don't need to say it, you know that I'll try. And I don't wanna hide or waste another life. Say no, and I will let go. I don't need to say it, you know that I'll try. And I don't wanna hide or waste another life. Left in the pool of my own mess. When I said I'm gonna change, you made me pick up the broken glass. Don't want it to be in vain, no, but to slow things down and clear my mind. It's like leaving a toxic friend behind. You say yes, and you don't make waves. I don't need to say it, you know that I'll try. And I don't wanna hide or waste another life. Say no, and I will let go. I don't need to say it, you know that I'll try. And I don't wanna hide or waste another life. Would you believe if I told you that I don't wanna go back? I'm just afraid that I'll lose you, and I don't wanna hide or waste another life. You say yes, and you don't make waves.
What up, prison junkies? This is Yanni Cristo, your host, your one-man band, and he has had, you know what you don't ever want to do in life? You never want to do this. You never want to do this. Why? It reminds me of Terrell Owens, right? I don't know if any of you guys are football fans, but he always used to say, T.O. feels like that. You know who else used to do that? God, there was another player that used to do that all the time. Let me think here. It'll come to me at some point. But anyway, so you guys are probably wondering, why haven't you live streamed in such a long time? Why did you wait to do the monetization celebration? Why didn't you live stream at midnight like you originally said? And you know what? That's a great question. That's a great question. I don't have a great answer. I have a lot of answers. I left the door open. And this place has turned into, you ever seen that movie A Bug's Life? Have you ever seen that movie? It's like that, but without the CGI. It's like 100% real. I feel like I'm in a, Jesus, I mean like a moth convention. It's unbelievable. So, you know, what was started off as me being in a tremendously good mood, boy, it can just flip just like that. And all of that stuff that I've been talking to you about in terms of centering yourself and staying present and not staying so far into the future and not staying so far into the past. Thank you, neighbors, for flushing the toilet. I really appreciate your timing. It was absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. I wouldn't say throw all that out the window. What I would say is unbelievable. See, here's the thing. I'm surrounded. I've got a light here. I've got a light there. And I've got a lot of company. I mean, all I need is a mosquito net. Unbelievable. All right, so John Smith says, Yanni doesn't exactly attract wealthy followers. Oh, John Smith, you Mormon. You're so funny. Oh, look. Okay. All right. Look, I'm actually going to start from the start because this is a celebration of monetization, right? I'm absolutely shocked. I wouldn't say never in a million years would I think that I wouldn't be monetized by YouTube, but I didn't think that it would happen so quickly, because it did happen rather quickly, considering I've only been doing this for about a month now, maybe a little over a month, and let's be real, it's not exactly like, you know, the views and the watch time hours and all that stuff are really trending upwards. In fact, the last video that I uploaded, not to sound bitter about it, I mean, maybe it wasn't very good. I guess it was kind of short. You know, the audio wasn't the greatest. But obviously very few people checked it out, and that's a shame because I thought it was interesting. I thought Suboxone babies, you know, going through withdrawal, I had no idea that was a thing. It is a thing. And, you know, people not really following the program, you know, or staying completely abstinent. I think you can kind of read between the lines on that particular video and tell that that probably isn't happening. But I wanted to just put it, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'm not handing out judgment. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just simply saying that you draw your own conclusions, get your own impression. But I could see how one would draw the conclusion, or at least get the impression that, you know, it wasn't entirely, you know, there might have been a little bit more to that. All right, let's go ahead and get to the start. Okay, Asshole says, hell yeah, Michael Davis, congratulations. So this actually happened a couple of days ago. We were live streaming for almost 8.5 hours. 8.5 hours. And please let me know, and I'm going to go ahead and page down to the bottom real quick. You got to understand, I do not have a computer over here. It is strictly a phone, and it is in not landscape mode. What is it called when it's up and down? Big facts. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I call it, I guess, Instagram mode or Facebook stories mode or TikTok, probably TikTok mode. I'm going to call it TikTok mode from now on. That's my new, I've just coined the phrase, TikTok mode. Anyway, Asshole says, hell yeah. Michael Davis says, congratulations. You know, and look, I've got a few mixed emotions about it because this is strictly for the fans. You know, I don't even know what in the world I'm going to talk about. I've had one of the worst weeks I've had in sobriety, other than, and keep this in mind, right? Keep this in mind. There was a very long period of time where I thought I was going to die. I mean, really, I thought I was going to die. I got the message, hey, you need to come to the emergency room immediately. Why? Well, because your liver might be failing. I think this week for me has probably been worse than that week for me, because at least I knew what I was up against. Right now, I don't. And this has nothing to do with YouTube at all. Although my therapist told me today, she said, I really think you need to you need to just get off social media. You need to get off YouTube. You need to leave it all alone for at least a couple of months. Now, I can't tell you why. I can tell you this. It has absolutely nothing to do with sobriety or mental health issues. Nothing. So you can fill in the blanks there on your own. You'll never get it. But there's a really good reason for it. So, what do I got in here? A bunch of people telling me to hurry up. Stoked to be here. Yanni, Spanky82 says, Yanni, pinching off a loaf or punching the clown? What in the world is punching the clown? I mean, is Orange says, never subbed, never donated, ad block on, stolen laptop, neighbor's Wi-Fi, free entertainment. Just kidding. Congrats. Have a good stream. I appreciate that, Orange. The odds are slim. All right, Madden182 says, wish I wasn't super broke, as in $11 to my name right now. That's fine. I would recommend, look, if you've got $11 to your name, right, you need to start doing a little hustling, right? I mean, what are you doing? I'm dying to know, and I'll check it out later. Like, what are you doing to accumulate more money? Are you working? Are you unemployed? Are you homeless? Are you Justin? Okay. Revolt says, GZ, asshole, stay out of the APS comments, though. Really? Why? I mean, I don't know what asshole is saying. I'm sure there are lots of assholes in the comment section of that particular channel, and who can blame them? Well, I'm telling you this. I am liable to say anything at all. This could be very explosive. This could end my YouTube career. Not that I ever had much of one. And I'll be honest with you, I'm okay with that. Because if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down in a blaze of glory. I can promise you that. All right, Christopher Palmer says, and I want to go through this real quick because this is a celebration of monetization, right? Now, initially, they monetized my channel, and it happened at like 6:30 in the morning, just a few days ago. I was doing an 8.5-hour live stream. Didn't plan on it, just the way it worked out, right? And right around 6:30, I didn't want to tell anyone, but of course, I can't keep a secret. Every time I say, I'm not going to say this, I say that. And then I say even more. It just happens every time. What's interesting about it is that once the monetization occurred, all of a sudden, everything dropped off. And I'm trying to figure out why. I guess people just don't care about Suboxone babies. And those of you who don't care about Suboxone babies, you really need to take a look inward and look at yourself. If you couldn't give 11 minutes to that video, but you subscribe to this channel, or you're a troll who can't wait to dislike something, which I've had very few. I mean, I really can't complain about that, right? I mean, very, very, very few. Very few. John Smith says, I work in Winchester. Be cool to run into him. I'm assuming you mean me. Well, I mean, Sheets, 7-Eleven, the Salvation Army, the Union Mission, any of those places, you're bound to see me. King Cyrex says, Napoleon Dynamite is the best movie ever. And Joe owns you, Jan. Joe who? Go ahead, say it. Say it. I'm telling you, man, I am. Woo! You know what? Maybe I'll save it for later. I'm here to tell you, I am trying to be, because I think it's important for me, again, not to steer the ship. My opinions and, my thoughts and notions and all that sort of thing, they should not steer the direction of your thought. I mean, maybe just a little bit. Maybe it can point you in the right direction. But the conclusions that you draw, I mean, that's you. I'd love for you to share them with me because I'm constantly trying to learn. But yeah, I'm not overly political. So I don't personally believe that Joe Biden owns me. I'm assuming that you mean someone else. And I can tell you this. He owns other people, but he don't own me. This guy right here, not for sale, never has been. Which reminds me of a time when I got a phone call from a certain someone. And he just, what are you going to do? I just want you to stop. What do I have to pay you? And I said, listen, buddy, there isn't enough money in the world to get me to shut up. Now, this was a while ago. I've never been a Joe Biden fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just never been a big fan. All right, so Undercover Bender Boy says, Big Dave must be there wrapping up the conjugal visit. Listen, if you're going to insult me, spell it correctly. That's not how you spell conjugal. Maybe next time. All right, Holly Bingus says, good morning, Yanni. I mean, look, I wanted this to be a little bit earlier, but we can't always have what we want. We've been listening to Nickelback type music for Nickelback. Is that what was? That was not what I meant to be playing at all. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. W Butcher says, so he's just gonna blue ball all of us. Okay, so this is a while ago. This is 1:31 a.m. Oh, Nicholas, thank you very much. Nicholas just donated, invested in the health and sobriety of prison junkie, i.e. me, i.e. you. Why? Because you get to enjoy the fruits of my labor. And the bottom line is, look, as long as I get it. There's I know what you want. I do. I know what you want. I'm about to give it to you. All right, just bear with me for just a second. Let me just go ahead and get caught up here because, again, this is a celebration. I'm trying to get out of my own head. I've had so much anxiety today, and this is something that you definitely are going to experience if you ever get sober, right? There are going to be days. I'm going to be honest with you. Today was probably the closest I've been in a very long time. I would say at least 6 months that I really did think about, I could use a break. I maybe I would smoke something. Maybe pop something. Maybe, maybe even drink something, And this was a day where I went to a meeting. I talked to my peer recovery guru, and I talked to my therapist. I did everything you could possibly do to stay sober. Maybe not everything, but I did a lot more than most. And sometimes that just isn't enough. Sometimes you need a little bit more. Could you please flush the toilet one more time? And that's a funny thing. Speaking of flushing the toilet one more time, boy, that really takes me back to prison bathrooms, jail bathrooms. Hitting that flusher. Well, that's the one thing you don't want to be. You don't want to be that guy. And some people will just do it just to be a jerk. I've never personally done that because if there's the last thing you want to be is smelling in the joint because there's nothing but concrete, right? There isn't any ventilation. Where is it going to go? Especially in a smaller place or a two-man cell. And the thing is, the suction power is it's so powerful. It's like, imagine an elephant trunk reaching up into the clown punching area. I don't know what punching a clown is. Is that like taking an uppercut to somebody's balls? I don't get it. But imagine that elephant right up in there, right up in between them cheeks. It's that powerful. People have flushed body parts, broken up into little pieces. Which reminds me of a prison story about a guy who was about to get out of prison. Now, he had been, telling on some folks, that kind of thing. And, and word got out that this guy was, making some moves. And so there was that. Nobody knew for sure. The paperwork is whatever. There's other people on, talking about show me your paperwork or whatever. Come on. Don't ever ask a man his charges. That's one thing you don't do in prison. We talk about it all the time. Are you serious? There has never been a time that I've had a cellie that one of the first things I didn't say is, hey, look, man, so I got this going on here with me. What's going on with you? We're going to be here for a while. Grab a Snickers. Why wait? Let's talk. Because the one thing I'm going to do in the joint, just like right here, is talk. I mean, half the reason I've got into fights is because I just talk too much. I'm sure you can imagine. It's not because I didn't talk enough, or it's not because I didn't produce paperwork, or it's not because I was, running scams on somebody or doing somebody dirty. No, it's just because this thing right here, it doesn't stop for nobody. Nobody. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how tough you are. Now, I might try and talk my way out of it. I'm not saying I would never do that. Of course I would try and do that. But, I mean, if you get backed into a corner, it is what it is. Win, lose, or draw. Because let's be real. I mean, the odds of getting killed in prison, pretty low. Probably got better odds of getting killed. I mean, let's be real. These guys make this stuff out to be the most dangerous, cutthroat, bloodthirsty people on the planet. But honestly, in prison, you're around guys doing a lot of time. First of all, not a lot of fights. Not a lot of fights. If there are fights, it's usually amongst gangs, and they're usually groups of people, or they're 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s. A lot of head-up fights, lower level. Higher level, they just stab you, hitting your head with a fan motor. Set you up. That's another one. A lot of dudes, man, a lot of dudes be planting stuff on people. Because if you really want to make an example out of somebody, right? Plant something on them that they never had anything to do with, or working for the police. You think they don't? What's the percentage of federal inmates that snitch? What is it, like 80%, 85%? And the other 15%, what happened to them? They probably just didn't have any valuable information or something. I don't know. It's pretty much all these. Hey, Revolt. Helping other Greeks. What are you talking about? Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I've seen you be nice to me, but I've seen you say other stuff. I mean, you ain't fooling nobody. I don't give a shit if you like me or not. And I'll say whatever the fuck I want to say. Yo, bro, chill. What are you going to do, shut down my stream? Chill. Don't talk about this person. Don't talk about that group. I haven't talked about anyone, but somebody keeps talking about me. You think I'm just going to be quiet forever? I mean, I can only take the high road for so long. Now, out of all the things that have bothered me this week, that is probably the least of my worries. Again, Cairo, man, that super chat, though, you better believe it, boy. We're going to do a super duper califragilis pooper chat because there's so many people in here like to talk about doo-doo. I don't know why. You know what? That reminds me, when I was in Georgia State Prison, very high security, I had a cellie. That was huge. It was like, I don't know, 280 to 300 pounds. Big dude. Older than me at the time because I was like 30, 31. Every time, either he had to go, I had to go. These cells are very, 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 very small. Hey, man, I got to make boo-boo. I got to make boo-boo. You got to do what? You got to do what? Did you say doo-doo? No, man, boo-boo. Boo-boo? What kind of grown man says boo-boo? I got to make boo-boo. Always rubbed me the wrong way, boo-boo. Nice guy. I mean, really. Not a genius. But whatever. I mean, yeah, he had to make boo-boo. I get it. I guess it's something that maybe he said as a child, or maybe, I have no idea. That's just bizarre. I don't think I'd ever heard that before, maybe on a cartoon or something. Sesame Street? I don't know. Maybe it was like Count Chocula. No, it wasn't Count Chocula. I don't know. Ernie? One of the little ones. Fraggle Rock? I don't know. Anyway, all right. So like I said, it is a celebration. So, you know what's crazy right now? I have so much anxiety. I went to a meeting tonight, a 12-step meeting amongst men. And I said to myself, There's no way I can just sit down in this chair for an hour. There's just no way. 8:15 to 9:15. I said, how am I going to get to this place where I can just get out of here? Because there was a point in time today, I'm almost right back there again, where I feel like the walls are closing in. Everything I do is a mistake. And I'm about to just jump out of my own skin. You get to that point and nothing else you've said to anyone, nothing else they've said to you, no amount of therapy, no amount of meditation, no amount of reading, the book, no amount of any of the things that I fall back on, whether it's these 3 pieces of music that I always listen to that get me to that right place. Nothing else works. Maybe I've had too much caffeine today, probably. I mean, my legs are literally twitching right now. I go to the meeting and I keep waiting. I hear a lot of clever things. I hear a lot of practical how-to stuff. And it's pretty advanced, step work, if you know anything about that. A lot of people with a lot of experience, a lot more experience than me. Because let's not get it twisted. I am no guru. I can only tell you what's worked for me thus far. I don't know. I can't guarantee it'll work tomorrow. That's the whole thing, right? And this guy that is, really has a wonderful life. I got to sit up for a minute. My back is killing me today. Wonderful life, wonderful family. Just tremendous, a great career. He's an entrepreneur. I can't say verbatim what he said. Number one, I don't recall exactly what he said. There was just a feeling that came over me while I was in there. I'm trying to recapture that feeling. And that's what you do. You chase after these moments where you feel something. You feel something greater than yourself happening to you. You start to feel the tingle on the back of your neck. The hair stand up a little bit. You lock in so much. You get so hyper-focused that everything that's going on in here doesn't exist anymore. It all goes away. And that happened for just a few moments because what this person was going through, who I've never heard anyone say anything bad about him. And I've always been teetering on the edge of asking him to be my sponsor. But honestly, the reason I didn't is I thought he was just too put together. I really needed a guy who had done some hard time. Somebody with prison tattoos, somebody who could match my intensity. But it's kind of like a relationship. That kind of relationship is kind of like a relationship with your girl or with a guy or whatever. Another human being because it is intimate. I mean, it's not sexual, but it's very intimate. We're talking about taking all of this off, the mask. Your skin, you're completely naked. In front of another man. Don't go crazy. I'm being serious here for a second. And you're exposing yourself, exposing everything, every deep, dark secret. That's part of the deal. I got to unload all this stuff. And you have to. And I thought, I really need somebody who's really messed up. The problem is, just like with that girl with me, or with whatever for you, you get somebody that's a little too much like you. And in my case, that's pretty rare. There just aren't too many people like me. And that's a good thing. That's a very, very, very good thing. But there's no balance. There's no balance. You're expecting a better version of yourself to materialize out of this person. And in a lot of cases, you're going to be, disappointed. The energy is just too much here. I need somebody who's a little more calm, a little more collected, and is experiencing a real freedom, in their mind, freedom in their life. The whole point of the thing is I want something that you have that I don't have. And it ain't money. It's not material success. I am at the point where this feeling, the drugs stopped working. Right? The booze stopped working, and money stopped working. Compulsive shopping, gambling, whatever, all of that stopped working. But I've had so many problems this week that I really was on the precipice of this, and it really had absolutely nothing to do with YouTube. It had to do with a lot of other things, personal relationships, unexplainable anxiety. You know, getting bad news from the hospital, getting bad news from the doctor, having to junk some uploads that I couldn't upload because I wouldn't have a clear conscience if I did it. I'm still not 100% that I won't. People telling me they want to do this, they want to do something. We have a long conversation about it. Okay, I'm going to do this like this. I promise to be fair. I'll let you take a look at it before I do it. And in some cases, I tell people, no, you're not going to be able to look at it. It's just going to be honest, raw, and real. There is no editorial review. And so this person, who's nobody's perfect, right? But to me, I'm looking at him like, oh, like, boy, this has always been somebody that I just didn't think he was so fucked up. He just wasn't fucked up enough to be compatible with me. So just somebody, I kept at arm's length. I'd see him at meetings, that kind of thing. And I would, always be nice and always want to ask because it's a big deal. It's a very big deal for anyone, but even for me. I mean, and I'm liable to say anything, anytime, anywhere, but it's another thing if it's just coming straight from my heart. Like, I really feel like right here, right now, no one but you can guide me through this. I'm at the end of my rope up here. And I'm scared. I'm afraid of what I might do for lack of impulse control. I'm very close to throwing it all away. Because everything I did, I tried to make all the right decisions, and I just couldn't, things just still didn't work out, and I can't tell you exactly what is happening with me from another perspective. It's killing me not to say it. It has nothing to do with what I've said, thus far. You have no idea. What I can tell you is this, is as a convicted felon, if you are a convicted felon, you better make sure right here, right now, today, and going forward, that you read everything that you sign. Every box you check, you better double check it. Because if you're wrong about something, I don't care if it's ADHD or you're just trying to blow through it. You think about signing a mortgage or signing a lease for a car or signing a lease for an apartment or buying a car or whatever. Punching in your phone number at 7-Eleven or Sheetz or Wawa or whatever, for the rewards or signing this over for the thing. And then you better read the fine print. Because if you don't, your margin for error on the street, especially in this state, is very slim. And I'm telling you something really good right now. Because I could be, the threat is there. And if I say anything more, then I'm putting myself in a tough spot. God, man. I want to say something so bad, man. Just know this. It has nothing to do with, and look, it has nothing to do with Joe Guerrero, has nothing to do with APS, has nothing to do with any of these people. It has nothing to do with YouTube whatsoever. Absolutely nothing, okay? It just seems so unfair. It's like, I know I'm not perfect. I know I haven't moved all the pieces around correctly. I'm a little too scatterbrained. I'm a little too disorganized. And I'm sorry for not getting the material to you as quickly as I wanted to. And it has nothing to do with relapse. Like, I didn't do that. So let me go back around to this thing. And this was a magical moment. I knew I went into this meeting looking for something, but it was very, it was core stuff, just something very simple. The essence, the ether, direction. And so then you have to get into that, right? Like, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not a religious person, but I'm trying to do everything I can to become a spiritual person. Because it's very important, very important, especially you're on this platform here. This can be very dangerous. Very dangerous for an ego. Very dangerous. Can lead to narcissistic, excuse me, I have an itch in my nose. Very, very dangerous for for anyone who has, and really just about everybody who's ever been locked up for any length of time, certainly if they're used to, performing or getting on camera or just like, this. But that's why the last thing I want to do is create an echo chamber. You're a troll, that's cool. That's fine. I get it. That's okay. You want attention. That's no problem. You want me to answer your question? You want me to interact with you? I am happy to put you on with me live right here, right now. You got the balls to do it? You want to hang with me? You think you can? Maybe you can. Tonight, you might win. You might get me tonight. Most nights, you're not going to get me. But tonight, this is your chance. So like I said, I'm scanning around the room and I hear, and this is a 12-step meeting, right? So, and I hear a lot of things that I need to hear, a lot of practical stuff, how to make a list. And it's 9th step stuff. And in this step, you are to begin making amends. And so that can be a lifelong thing, right? And I don't have that much to share on that topic because I'm very much, I'm very young in this, in the recovery game. And, but I think that the problems I have are the worst problems anyone can possibly imagine. The world is unfair. This is unfair. I didn't mean to, it's just a box. It's just a box. That's it. It's just check. Just a box. And I had the best intentions for this channel, but this channel is getting me into trouble? Maybe? I mean, YouTube is a very strict platform, right? They've monetized everything. It doesn't mean much because not a lot of people watch it, whatever. But, so anyway, so he sits down, he says, listen, and this is a group of men. So if you're a woman, you might not get this. There's places for you where you can just be around women. Because I'm here to tell you, I don't care how progressive your politics are, liberal your politics are, everything else, man. There are some places that women do not belong. And there are some places that men don't belong. And that's okay. Because what I can say to another man who's in the same boat, who's plugging holes in the boat so it doesn't sink, as soon as a woman is involved, it becomes a thing where now you're showing out for her, right? This happens in prison all the time. It happens with female COs. It happens with counselors. It happens with nurses. A dude will get it in his head. Oh, that girl's looking at me. Yo, she's got eyes for me. Something's going to happen with me and her. Because, in prison, there isn't much to stimulate your mind with, right? Except your imagination. Some people don't have much imagination, and they need to take it out on a real person. This is psychologically treacherous territory. But he shares the thing in this meeting and prefaces it with, I know you guys love me, and I want you to know that I love you. And I just have to tell you this. And it turns out his kid is very young, under 5 years old. And I can't say his name because the anonymity portion of the deal is the deal. You have to trust me enough that I'm not going to put you on blast. Whatever happens here stays here, so here, that kind of thing, right? And so he has a genetic defect. His legs are riddled with tumors. He has one around his carotid artery. It's a preliminary stage thing, Some of this stuff might be benign. They still have to do some more stuff. And he's saying, I'm sharing this with you because I know that if I share it with you, everything is going to be okay because I came here to be free up here. You know, I came here to be free of the anxiety, the insanity, torturing myself, the depression, you know, living in ego, living in self-denial, self-deception. And then the AC's running. It's the only thing else I hear other than this man's voice. And then when the final words, you know, come out of his mouth, the AC stops. Every other sound stops. And you just hear, you know, the last little bit, and I can't really say what it is because it's kind of sacred. You know, I mentioned another time where, you know, Michael Jordan had written a poem. Everyone on the Bulls team in '96, The Last Dance, they'd been through so much, and they, you know, Phil Jackson had him write a poem or soliloquy about what this whole experience had meant to them, meant to the team, but meant to them personally. And it was right there in between the 12, 15 guys who were on the team. It stayed there, never to be repeated, never to be shared again. You write it down, you put it in a barrel, and you set it on fire, which is a lot of what you do with like resentment lists and, you know, wrongs you've done to other people. You know, there are some things you can amend. There's some things you can fix. Some things are unfixable. Some things you just can't confront people. Hey, this thing that I did back in that, it would create too much damage for them. It's not just about you anymore. But anyway, so it was crazy. At that moment, my spirit was completely aligned with, you know, a higher purpose for me. And you just know it, you feel it. And it was a wonderful thing. And you grab onto these moments, or I grab onto these moments because they're the thing that keeps me going. And making these little films or whatever, documentaries, or just getting something off my chest, sometimes I get a little bit of that, a little bit of extra peace. Because haven't had any at all, not lately. Boy, you have a lot of do you think honestly I would you know, you are actually I'm not going to do this because I promised myself I wouldn't ban somebody strictly for what kind of game are you playing, man? What kind of game are you playing? Anyway. So luckily, I'm sorry this isn't funny. The celebration is at least for some moments, maybe even 2 hours. You know, I was able to relax a little bit, not worry so much about me, because it's selfish, right? I mean, addiction in and of itself is an incredibly selfish thing. You think, oh, well, I'm just out there getting high. I'm not bothering anybody. I mean, if you're not stealing, you're not doing anything like untoward toward people, you're robbing people, you're a woman, you're selling your body, that kind of thing. I mean, that kind of stuff obviously, you know, is an issue. But, you know, the damage that you do to other people, and we do this stuff, or I do it in sobriety. You know, because that depression, that fear of, you know, that inadequacy, it turns into anger, which is something that a lot of prisoners who've been locked up for periods of time, it's the only thing that they have to express, to show you that I mean what I'm saying. Don't cross this line. You have to show someone at some point, unless you're just in the shadow. And there are guys that can get through. There are the guys that can get through time. They don't get into any confrontation scrapes whatsoever. Why? Because they're always in the shadows. But for some of us, our personalities won't allow us to do that. I just can't do that. I have to be mixing it up and chopping it up with the fellas, or it's just, I'll explode. So Needless to say, I put myself in a lot of bad situations. I was thinking about how many times I've been to the hole because I have an idea, an extreme, because I want people to experience, I want them to see in real time. This is coming within the next week or two. You know, whether I'm in trouble or not, I'll work it out. It'll take care of itself. I'm sorry I'm so angry. Part of it was, okay, I got to a good place and then all this technical garbage happened and it's just, you know, the little things, you know, they add up, right? They do. So I'm trying to get past it. And maybe if I go through this chat, because it's a big deal, this is great, right? It doesn't matter that I'm not making much money. I am doing something that I feel called to do. And I haven't figured out exactly, you know, what the channel is, but I think I'm on to something. Now, if a video doesn't hit, that's okay. I got a pretty good idea why. Maybe it's a thumbnail, maybe it's just the topic. I've talked about it too much because I come into these live streams, I keep going and going and going and going and going. You know, somebody said to me, who's very close to me, like, you keep doing these 8-hour live streams, 3 hours of, you're not going to have any material left. I said, honey, let me tell you something. She was a girl. Or maybe she wasn't. Wouldn't that be funny if it was a dude and I was like, honey? Man, so, there is endless material. There are so many bases that haven't been touched in this genre. I have not even scratched the surface of what this is all about. Not even one bit. When I get this gear, and I'm telling you this, every single nickel that doesn't go in this mouth, and no, it's not dick. I know you'd like it to be, some of you. I'm going to need a really extreme donation for that to happen. I'll tell you what, give me a Canon C500, you got it. Whatever you want. No, Undercover Bender Boy, this is my kind of troll, just happened to pop up. Yanni acting triple extra chatty tonight. Lots of nose touching. Won't thank Joe for his success. First of all, what success are you talking about? My success in recovery? The fact that I didn't, despite every other indication otherwise, even up here, that I would get high or that I would take a drink. I would look for some sort of mind-altering substance to get me out of this psychological napalm. Am I supposed to owe someone? I'm supposed to thank somebody for that success? I owe no one on this platform anything. Other than, I will say, that one of the greatest personal relationship that I have, I do owe that to APS because it wouldn't have happened without it. You know, it's kind of like that butterfly effect. Had I never worked for that channel, I never would have met this person. It just never would have happened. I did a relapse video. It was crazy. I did this relapse video. There were so many women. And it tells you a lot about women in prison. You know, where these guys, they start out, they're getting the pen pals, then they're talking on the phone, girls putting the phone on the books. The next thing you know, she's putting money on the books. She's sending you books. She might be helping you write some books. And it becomes a very sick thing, right? So you have this woman who's very lonely. I can't speak to the women's prisons because I've never been locked up in one. Yet. But for the men's prisons, this is a game. This is a big hustle in prison, is trying to find this pen pal. And let's be real. Usually it's a fat chick. No offense to fat chicks. I love you. Love all you. Go ahead and get more of you. Whatever. I mean, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm down with it. Big block, 350, 454. 4 on the floor. 2 fat rolls, 2 legs, whatever. So big you're in a wheelchair. I'm okay with that. Look like one of the extras from the cantina scene in Star Wars. That's cool. Part of Jabba's palace, I get it. It's all right with me. Something out of a David Lynch movie, no problem. But it becomes a very sick thing. You have a woman, she thinks her self-worth is so low that she thinks there's nobody out there in the world for her. So therefore, she must find somebody who's locked up in prison. Why? Because she can control that situation. She doesn't put money on the phone, no phone calls. She doesn't put money on the books. That person isn't eating. It's a two-way street. It isn't just inmate or convict taking advantage of her. It is that woman taking advantage of him. I mean, I could trash the dudes all day long for using up women like garbage and throwing them in the trash. That's one perspective, and that's true. It does happen, right? Of course it does. But what's the flip side of that coin? My channel's about nothing else. It's what is the flip side to that coin? What's the other side of the street? What's their perspective? It's a give and take thing. This is a transaction. This is commerce. It just involves human emotion and imagination. Because these relationships are mostly just up here. They're on this. A lot of drama, a lot of arguing, a lot of yelling, a lot of gimme, gimme, gimme. But there's gimme on both sides. Give me your fake love. Oh, give me your real money. Give me some more fake love. I need you to do some things for me, baby. There's two sides to that deal. I had a point, though. I think I lost it. Mark Crowley, man, I appreciate the super chat donation of $5 because he says, because taking the high road is hard. Well, now there's two kinds of high road. There's the high road where, you're not trying to be down here, in the gutter. And then there's the other high road, which is clearing all this stuff, all of this, 40 years of building up this garbage pile. And it never stops building because you keep making mistakes, or at least I do. Those of you who are perfect, go ahead and see yourselves out, please. This ain't for you. Unless you just want like a good laugh or something. So thank you, Mark Crowley. Congrats on the monetization. I think it's very cool because YouTube has, and I'm sure I'm going to jinx myself here, they're saying this. It's educational. There's drugs in the title, no problem. It says meth, no problem. Suboxone babies, that's okay. Withdrawals, we'll deal with it. It's my first experience really dealing with that. What I want to know is, I'm going to go to the bottom of the chat here in a second because, again, dude, okay, now I understand. I'm almost getting to the point where I understand why you kick somebody out of a chat. You have one person that dominates it. I know exactly where you're coming from. You are a fucking lunatic. Man. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I was literally this close about an hour and a half ago to just deleting the entire channel. Would you like to know more? All right, look, like I said, celebration. If this is my last live stream, if this is my last upload, I feel an obligation, financial and moral, to a few people. Cairo, Mark Crowley. Also, people, those of you who don't have anything, you don't have money, but you're giving me your time. And your feedback is genuine and real. And your jokes are funny. That matters just as much, too, because I like to laugh. And I want to get on something completely different. I do. Getting this off my chest right now, even though I haven't said everything that it is, the effect of what it is. And just talking about that, sometimes, even if it is just us, to me, you're real. When I read these comments, they're real. They matter to me. So put as much thought as possible into them, even if it's for laughs. Because look, comedy, real comedy, one of the hardest things to do. Do you know how many comedians have blown their brains out, committed suicide? All of comedy is born out of pain. Whether it's Mitch Hedberg, Robin Williams, Sam Kinison, Chris Farley, Jim Belushi, John Belushi. I'm sure there are some I'm forgetting. Richard Pryor ruined his body, ruined his mind, freebasing cocaine. I will not freebase cocaine. I won't do it. Unless it's my birthday, I pull out that pipe and I just bass. But I won't freebase in a church. I won't. Well, unless it's, it's a sermon. I heard it before. I might pull out that pipe and I'll bass. Watch out, Sally. Oh, my goodness gracious. I saw that years ago. That has got to be one of the very funniest things. Anyway, amazing stuff. All right. King Cyrax, I can always count on you to really irritate me. Listen, I'm sorry. This guy is literally mad at me. I accidentally muted him on a chat for 300. It really was an accident. I was kidding around. I didn't know I was going to do that. I did that. I'm sorry. Napoleon Dynamite is absolutely terrible. I'm sorry your taste is so bad. John Smith says, I'm $14 overdrafted. That's okay. Look, there is a mechanism that you can put on your bank account where you do not overdraft. So if that's an issue and you continually have, I need a drink. Not one of those kind of drinks, but I need a drink. If you're continually overdrafting your account and you have to pay 30, 35, or 40, or even more expensive money is the energy, the psychic energy that it takes to have to pick up the phone or walk into the bank and explain this whole sob story about you're not going to believe what happened to my grandma. It's not true, probably. But I overdrafted my account to pay for her vasectomy. And they're like, well, wait a second. Your mother or your grandmother has a penis? And she probably not screwing anybody that she can impregnate. Anyway. So listen, Undercover Bender boy, Yanizu, this stream ain't starting. Okay, so we're already back to the beginning. I'm going to start from when we actually started. How about this? Why don't we work backwards? That'll be interesting, right? Let's just do everything the opposite, because I have been a big believer in going the other way. I've done it every time. You want long videos? I'll give you short ones. You want short videos? I'll give you long ones. You want prison stories? I'll give you everything but. Just because. You want drama? Not going to touch it. Unless it's my own personal drama. But YouTube drama? Nah. Dylan Lehman Anderson says, dude, the energy it takes to explain, wow, who the fuck are you? Haha. And then here we go with revolt. Is impossible. So the man is basically, dude, can you just sit your ass down for a minute? Just sit it down, bro. You are a lunatic. Listen to this guy. What are you talking about? How much attention do you want? Revolt is impossible. So the man is basically stuck. And that's why he's acting like this. Next one, emoji. Oh, it's a sad emoji. Next one, but there is hope. This is all in the same minute. I thought I was crazy. Yeah. Thanks for the advice. I appreciate it. Because you really know, don't you? All right. So we'll start here. I appreciate everybody for investing in this channel who have, whether it's time, money, or anything else. Even if it's negative energy. All right, so I'm going to roll it back just a few minutes and we'll go from there because I can do this really quickly. Kundingi, who is also a huge supporter of the channel, he actually gave me Big fan. I've spoke with him a few times on Reddit or, texted back and forth or whatever you want to call it. Reddited. Is it Reddited? I don't know. He invested $100 in the channel, which will help me dramatically in terms of audio. I understand that audio has been an issue, these last couple of videos. I was doing street stuff because I don't want to put people in a controlled environment because it's too fabricated. It's unnatural. Just like now. If I came in here with some kind of full-blown plan, it'd sound too rehearsed. I could have the computer here. We could talk about R. Kelly. Got beat up in Chicago. Federal prison. We could talk about pedophilia. Aaliyah. He's 28. She's 15. Birth certificate says 18. I want to piss on you. We could talk about Dave Chappelle and his trip to Africa. That has nothing to do. But anyway, so yeah, R. Kelly got beat up in jail, I guess, or he's in jail awaiting trial for sex trafficking. He's gonna have a gay old time in the joint. And when I say gay, I mean he's gonna have a gay old time. I mean that. I'm shocked. He has to be in PC, right? Because he got beat. But if he's in PC, it just all depends. Now, PC is different everywhere you go. It's everywhere you go. All right. Oh, Mark S. gave me a cheeseburger, and he looks just like the Halloween Michael Myers, which is interesting. I think I mentioned this before, but the Michael Myers mask was based on William Shatner from Star Trek. I think it was a Star Trek William Shatner mask, or it was a Star Trek or a TJ Hooker or something. He's been on a million shows, Boston League, whatever. Always comes back to Star. The guy is on the like some kind of reality show with Terry Bradshaw and George Foreman, and some no-name guy or some rando, and they go around the country and they eat their food and culture and cuisine. I haven't seen a lot. Very rarely do I watch streams, TV shows, or whatever. But these guys are. I mean, the guy's amazing. He's 90 years old. And the guy's hilarious. He's hilarious. He has an amazing voice. He's a good actor. Maybe a little too much for some, but I like it. I like it overblown and overdrawn and overwrought. I like all that. Tech says, methadone cured me, worked way better than AA. I would really love to know, what do you mean it cured you? So that means you're still taking the methadone. So that's your plan, is to take methadone for the rest of your life, or you tapered off and you've just never done another drug, or you went back to smoking weed, or you're doing kratom or CBD, or you don't have any more obsessive compulsive issues at all. Tech is cured. Maybe. It's not impossible. It is, just not for me. All right. Mark S. Burger for the fat chicks. Okay, I get you. I see you, boy, with the burger, the cheeseburger. Yeah, girl. Hey, fat boys be eating burgers too now. Come on now. Revolt. What? So, in my opinion, the men are more than right to treat the bitch that way. Hey, look, everybody, because I'm us moving forward, I want you to. We've got 60 people in the chat, which at 2:30 in the morning is. It's not small. That's a pretty good chunk of people, man. I really appreciate it. You guys, I might upload it and title it Ex-Con Melts Down on YouTube. Or something like that. I don't know. Ex-Con has a nervous breakdown. Revolt, you know a lot about life. No self-respecting woman would do such a thing. And then ITESB. It's yelp. Okay. David Lightman says, this is manipulation to get your money. Yeah, because let's total it all up here. To get my money. You know, I don't even know why I'm agitated at this. You want to see manipulation to get money? You really want to talk about that? You want to talk about GoFundMe? Man. Hey, we're about to hit 5,000. Come on, please. 5,000 subscribers. Oh, my goodness gracious. Please. Oh, I remember this one. Please. I'm not. A lot of my videos aren't monetized. If you guys could just, even if you have to leave the room, just watch the video, let it go, watch the commercial, because it's the only way I can earn a living. I couldn't make it doing anything else. Woo! Nope says, Yanni, I used to be in juvie. I remember being so bitter and angry at the world. Never been religious, but spirituality completely changed my life. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Because look, if you think you are the only thing that controls your own destiny, buddy, baby, sugar mama, let me tell you something. That ain't it. You ain't that powerful. You're not. No one is. Everybody needs help. I don't care if you're Bill Gates or Bill Clinton or Wild Bill Hickok. Oh boy, God. Okay, dude, you need to just sit it down for just a minute. Now revolt. Hey, just get him the fuck out of here. I'm tired of. I mean, look, dude. You are just polluting the water, man. You go. Look, go suck. You know whose dick for just a little bit while longer, and then you come back in a couple of years. When you stop gagging on that money, and you just can't take the head hitting the bottom of your esophagus any longer, then come back and holler. Come back and holler. I got a new rule. You shoot me 100 messages in a chat and drown out voices that want to be heard. And then you go around to every other channel, every other prison YouTube channel, stroking their junk, watching they would. You keep doing that. I see you, boy. I see you. It ain't hard. You ain't hard to find. You is not hard to find. All right. Asshole asked me, is there any word from Justin yet? No. No, and that was the real kicker to the whole week is I thought, well, man, if there's one thing that I can do, it's this. Family, I'm in touch with his family. The door is open. I've even considered going all the way to Charlottesville and just trying to find him. It's just a 2.5 hour drive, and I've had a lot of things. I've tried everything I could to get in touch with him, but it just hasn't worked out. But I'm considering, making that trip this weekend just to see. Not for the cameras, not for a live stream, none of that. Although, let me tell you something. I am getting ready to live stream the hell out of here. I can't wait. Within the next week, I promise you, we will be doing this real time. You seen live PD? How about live felon? Oh, yeah. Live felon. And I'm not talking about some potato over a toilet either. I'm talking about in the rice paddies, in the shit, in the jungle. Yeah, you better bet it. You better bet it. Anyway, Holly Bang says, if you quit, that would be a waste of knowledge. Stay. We'll see. Undercover Bender Boy. Kex got a GoPro in his prison purse. Yeah, we talked about that. We have talked about that, and I told you I was going to give you a call today, and it gets so wrapped up in this other thing. Because the worst is the unknown. I just don't know. Is it just pure flex? Are you messing with me? I guess I've already done... I already did that. It doesn't matter my intent. At this point, I may just have to prove or disprove. Because look, we live in a world... Man, forget it. You do reality. Ah, forget it. You don't live in any kind of reality. Your reality is, I want attention. I'm either going to be so nice to you that you'll recognize me, or I'm going to be so mean to you that you'll recognize me. Or I'm just going to be so repetitive that you'll recognize me. Because you just want to be seen and heard. How about this? Why don't you try and create something? You do reality. Shut your bitch ass up. I mean, fruitcake. Over here, forget it. All right, Chronic Soldier says, you think about deleting the stream a lot, don't you? I mean, sometimes I can see you're loving doing a live, so do you always want to delete it because you feel you're being trolled? Or No. No, I'm normally a really good sport with the troll. I mean, there's very few trolls I have to deal with. And let's be real, most of them are not nearly as clever as they think they are. If I'm telling you something, it's because I want to tell you. If there's a piece of information that I want to keep for myself for a rainy day, or maybe to never say or never reveal, believe me. Oh, well, let's be real. You never know. I never know what the hell I'm going to say before I get into it. Give me a break. No, there are some times that I absolutely love doing the live stream. I just, look, I made a promise that I was going to celebrate being monetized. I was going to celebrate being monetized because it's a big deal. And there are a lot of people here. And when I say a lot, in the grand scheme of things or to someone else, it's not that many. People are constantly giving me advice. Yanni, if you really want to get into the algorithm, if you really want to be successful on YouTube, if you really want to get the views, if you really want to get the watch time minutes, then this is what you need to do. You need to make your thumbnails like this. You need to shoot your videos like that. You need to do this. You need to do that. You don't have any idea what my end game is with this. Or if I have an end game. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a year on YouTube and promise to delete. I know that somebody mentioned that to me a while ago. I know that there's a handful of large YouTubers that are doing that. I kind of love the idea of here's 100 videos. Or 100 uploads. Let's not count the live streams. I'm going to do 100 and then I'm going to nuke the site from orbit. Why? It's the only way to be sure. You know what I mean. John Wright says, you're a really intellectual guy, man. Seems like you've constantly got things pinging around in your mind, gonna figure out how this shit works so I can shoot you some funds. Man, you're intriguing. Stick around. You'll find me more exhausting than intriguing. Because that's really, I'm being honest with you, in my personal relationships, my familial relationships, that's where we get. And that's a big reason why I live on my own. In a basement with a prison cell that I built, fashioned out of these hands. These calloused hands right here. Look at those things. Even without a job, I still put in work. I still use these things. But that's the problem, right? So a lot of that... can you imagine what it's like to be, like I am this intense almost all the time without drugs, without anything. Because there was a long period of time where I took Kratom, because it was I could buy it over the counter. I justified it in my mind because, nobody really knows what this stuff does. It's natural. It's from the earth. Until one day I looked at myself on camera, not here and not where you think, but just a little FaceTime thing that I was doing with a friend. And he did a couple of screen caps, or she did a couple of screen caps, or it did a couple of screen caps. And I looked at it, and I was like, I'm right there. I'm right there. I mean, the eyes, the skin, the whole bit. It might be good for some, and in all things, moderation is good depending on the thing. For just about everything, that works. I don't even know how to live stream in moderation. I say I'm going to do an hour, I do 3. I say I'm going to do 3, I do 8. I say I do 8. Hey, look, if I ever say I'm going to do an 8-hour live stream, you better buckle up, boys and girls, because we're going on a ride. How about a day? How about a week? Can you imagine? Boy. Yeah. You don't have to delete these messages. I mean, you can delete them. Obscurity Master, yeah. You're on the right track, my friend. Hispanic Batman says, Yanni, are you ever going to post the video driving around with the old addict woman? Yes, I am. You know, and I'm thinking very seriously because this platform, even though they've given me a lot of grace and a lot of rope, you know, they say about a lot of rope, you know, the more rope you have, the more you have to hang yourself with. Which reminds me of a guy I was locked up with named AJ Arroyo. I'll never forget his ear, you know, touching the outside of his shoulder after he jumped off the top tier. This guy literally had about 3 minutes to work this thing up. He'd worked it out in his cell. And he was so racked with guilt. This is a man. You can Google him. He made eye contact with me. I looked at him. He looked at me. And because I didn't know what he had done. I didn't know until I got out what he had done. But this was in jail, right? And he had killed his girlfriend or his wife, I forget. His girlfriend or his wife, he killed her and her dad in a trailer, shot him execution style, split from, it was either Chesapeake or Portsmouth, split, went to Texas, became a member of a church, started doing odd jobs, found Jesus, God bless him. And a year later, he confessed what he did. Nobody had a clue. Nobody there had a clue. He may have been able to ride out forever. He might have been one of those guys you saw on America's Most Wanted or under Unsolved Mysteries. The killer walks among us. You know, who knows how long Ted Bundy would have survived had he not hit that Florida sorority. I mean, this guy gets out of prison, he's at a Michigan football game. Crazy, right? So, I'll never forget the look I saw on his face when he knew he was in the act. He had tied it to the rail. He had waited till he knew they were going to court, his cellie. He had waited. He'd been plotting this. Weeks, a month, months, who knows? When that door popped at 3 o'clock in the morning, so this kid could go to, his name was Cody, could go to the Shakedown Shack to go to a court hearing in Williamsburg. He knew that was his time, that he could slink out the door. Nobody'd really be paying attention as long as he could do it in a couple of minutes. Went up the stairs because he was on the bottom tier. This is in Hampton Roads Regional Jail. Goes up the stairs, goes up the tier, ties it 3 doors down from me. And I'm 3 doors down from the shower. So last 3 cells, I think it maybe 2 cells after me. So I had enough of an angle to kind of see him. You know, and I was like, what is this guy doing up there? Oh my God. And he looked at me. I mean, he looked at me like, and I'd had some conversations with him. Honestly, he seemed tortured. He was really intelligent as far as prisoners go. He was even interested in some of the same stuff that I was interested in. That's for you, whoever. And this guy, for a split second, we locked eyes, and I saw a person who was committed to something very drastic. I mean, the final solution. And the rails, you've got a rail here, about 2 feet below another rail. He does a Superman jump through, and then another one is the concrete. and jumps through a slot this big, parallel with the tier floor, jumps out, and I could see the reflection in the guard tower, cubicle, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's whatever, bullet smash proof glass. Nobody's got guns in jail, but smash proof, whatever, plexiglass, whatever. And so they can, you know, observe everyone just in case the cameras go bad. Of course, there's cameras everywhere as well, too. You know, they can look on the security cam, but if they want to close it, it's right there. But so with the lights off, most of them, because it was 3 o'clock in the morning, you could see the reflection really good. And I just saw him swinging. And his ear touching the outside of his shoulder. Neck. Bone. Sticking. Not out of his neck, but you could see the lump. Now, here's the crazy part about it. This man swung for 23 minutes. Because we're all beating on it. Because we don't know. I didn't know what he did. I didn't know he'd killed these people. But even so. There was a guard. I mean, it becomes another thing, right? Because so one thing, okay, I see the guy. He's ready to kill himself, right? He jumps off. He's going to kill him. I see it. He does it. He's swinging for 23 minutes. How do I know it's 23 minutes? Because we're counting it down. We all can see the clock. Not all of us, but most of us can see the clock. We see the time. The guard rolled the doors and just waddled a little fat ass out the tower. She missed her round, goofing around with whatever, probably kicking games, some dummy. And comes back, she's like, woo, woo, woo! And all of us are like, that's what you, yeah, fuck you, bitch, that's what you get. Man, shut your bitch, you know, stop crying, you did this. Because her job was to be there. I mean, we're in maximum security, right? At this place where it's, you know, the worst of the worst. Troublemakers, gang members, murderers, rapists. You never know. You think you know, but until you've seen the paperwork, you don't really know, or until you run their name and number, you don't know. So at that point, we're all in this boat together. Yeah, we want this guy to get cut down, but we can't stand the CO. She doesn't give us any extra time with the TV. She won't let us turn it up so loud. She won't leave the doors open for so long, because in this place, they roll the doors for like 5 minutes. Hour later, 5 minutes. Hour later, 5 minutes. Lockdown for 2 hours. Hour later, 5 minutes. So whatever, or 3 minutes, whatever. She would roll them fast. So she'd somehow, you know, she'd like stick you in your cell. You know, you just want to go in there, you know, pop a soup. Grab some stuff out the box. Get your cards. Get a set in with your water bottles, whatever. She was always in the way. So we were honestly more concerned about fucking her up and her job and getting her fired, because we already assumed this guy's dead. There's no way. How is he going to be like that for 20 minutes? They pull him down. They say, oh, we got a pulse. We're like, yeah, right. There's no way this guy's got a pulse. Now, I never saw him again. But we started hearing about a week later, oh, he's down. He's in medical. I'm like, no way. He's got to be a quadriplegic. He's got to be drinking out of a straw. He's got to be communicating like this. There's no way. No, the COs say, no, he's walking around, he's fine. Now, I have no idea. I do know that he lived. I need to check on him and see what happened to him, what happened to his sentence. I mean, I'm sure he got life at least. But all it takes, who knows? I don't know. Did he never commit a crime before that? I mean, or after? Obviously, he's been locked up. He might have been, like I said, he was a nice guy. He appeared to be nice. He was smart. That girl put it on him, though. Anyway, all right. All right, the Knoxter show says, oh, by the way, let me give a shout out. Big recognition to my man, Bradley Pridgeon. I know you invested in the channel. Bradley, you've always been a huge supporter of me and supporter of the channel. And not just with money. You know, you have helped talk me through some stuff. And you're probably like 20 years younger than me. You probably don't even want me to put you out there on Front Street like this. I just did it. I'm sorry. I appreciate your support. It matters. Cheyenne Hale says, that's crazy that you met 3 people in one day and just interviewed them. I wonder the stories of people I see all the time, but I never interact. Well, that's why it's important to get them when they're hot. But it's important to get them when they're on fire. You know, and it's also important to understand and empathize with them. You know, another man or woman looks into your eyes and they see the pain, they hear it coming out of your mouth, they see it in your soul, and they become a lot more open. And then you get to some truth, because the truth matters. And the quicker you can mobilize, the sooner you can get it. And I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want to help them get what I got this evening. And I kind of took back myself. I got back into self and I took it back, especially at the beginning of this chat. You know, it's the little things that'll eat you up from the inside out. The big things are really what matters. And the fact is with the situation that I'm referring to, I will get into it at some point. Maybe. I don't know. Statute of limitations? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. I'm sorry for you, man. I wish you had a platform. And here's the great thing, bro. You do. Turn on your phone, hit the YouTube Live function, or Facebook Live, or whatever it is. If that's what you need to do, if you feel like we are the same, we are not the same. Now, I would go into a live stream, and I would communicate, or I would donate. I can tell you this. I've gone into Josh's live stream, 23andMe. I've donated to him several times. I wish the podcast good luck. I'm actually talking to another prison YouTuber, and he wants to do a podcast with me. I tell him just like Pee-wee told Dottie. I'm a loner, Dottie. I'm a rebel. You know, kind of like the transporter. It's better if I work alone. Somebody just asked me, man, I'd like to do a live stream with you, maybe not 5 hours. Well, God bless you, my friend. I love you to death. But if you're not down for whatever, then I don't know if we can ride together. You know, we're going to live stream together. We're going to do a podcast together. You got to be my bus partner, 100%. And if you don't know what that is, figure it out and get back to me, all right? All right. Anyway, so this is what I'm talking about. Like, why? But you got it. See, here's the thing. We're all guilty of the same problem. We're all making the same mistake. Let me know how the audio is. Okay, fair enough. You got a deal. Buddy. One of these days, yeah, we'll do it. We got to figure out the technology, which is another thing I've got. This deal cooking with my dude. We might do that tomorrow. If I could just figure it out. Now, I do have some really other interesting things, and they involve other people. I think part of it is the beard. I'm going to be honest with you. The beard, it's in the way. I'm so sick and tired of this thing, dude. I wanted to keep it for one thing. I had one sort of social experiment. I'm going to give myself 7 days. If I don't get this thing done in 7 days, I'm literally sitting on my calf right now. I'm sitting on my heel and calf just to have enough elevation to get here. I'm about to knock all this over. So I'm going to pause here in just a little bit, not right now. You'd be shocked at how much younger I would look without this thing. But here's the thing, that's how I am. I want you to love me, or like me, or fuck with me, or rock with me, or subscribe to me, or like on its own merit, my merit. So if I hide all this, some of it's for me, some of it's wanting something sincere and real. I want you to like or respect me for me. I want you to get all past this. Just like that lady in front of Sheetz in Charlottesville told me to stop loitering after I bought food and a drink at their place of business. She thought, she's not the one that sold me the food. She thought I was a homeless guy. And that's part of the reason why I've got this. I got you, bro. That's part of the reason why I got this like this, because number one, I was this close to being homeless, this close. Literally, you know how they say people are one paycheck away from being in a box? And I don't mean a pine box, but a cardboard box. Yeah. I was that close. I mean, that really is what motivated me to start this, because I saw how people were looking at me differently. There was something about me getting out of jail and prison this time. It was the toughest time I've ever done. It was a 6-month stretch. I went in sober, and something broke. Something happened. My ability to integrate with society for long periods of time, and I'm talking about an hour or more, had left me. I still don't have it all the way back. I can still feel it every time I talk to someone. I see somebody at the store, I'm buying a pack of smokes or a big bite or a big gulp or a whatever. They can feel it. It finally happened. I was able to chameleonically, don't think that's a word, don't care. I was able to not only fool other people, but fool myself. And so I want the inside to match the outside. And when the outside is ready, it'll be told by the inside when to make that move. Finally, Tech says, okay, me too, been off methadone for years. Congratulations, my friend. I think that methadone is a tremendous building block if you do it correctly. And you got to have a little discipline. You got to stick to the clinic's rules. If you're counting on them to guard dog and police you other than making sure you don't take benzos or cocaine, you're counting on the wrong thing. Some of them do have counseling sessions, group sessions. They're mostly bullshit. Because they're people that, the methadone clinic I went to, you had to go to multiple group sessions to get take-homes. At that point, I didn't care about take-homes. I said, I'm going to do this the hard way. I'm going to get up here at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning every day. My day's going to start. I'm going to go to work. I own my own business at that point. And I'm off to the races. But it laid a really great foundation for me for a time. But I didn't do anything else. I didn't work any sort of program. You didn't need that. But I need that. I'm sober, and I need that. I need another man that has more experience, more peace in his life to guide me, through that. I'm not asking for a financial advisor, somebody that showed me the ropes on how to start a business. I don't need you to help me with my girlfriend. Although that's not true. I might need a little bit of help with that, but I need you to get me to this centered, aligned place. Because I'm tired of being in hell, man. And I don't mean that in a religious, Pentecostal way or eternal salvation kind of thing. That's not what I'm talking about. But I can't have another week like this. I could have another day. I feel like I'm a pretty long way from it. It's just pure spite sometimes, just pure grit and sand. that keeps me from picking up that thing. Because I know short term, it'd give me some relief. But I don't want to give myself or some other people the satisfaction. And sometimes that's it. Today, it was a higher power. And they say that. Sometimes the only thing that'll keep you away from a drug or a drink is a God of your own understanding. There is nothing else. You've called everyone, accountability partners, your sponsor, your therapist, your girlfriend, your parents, your neighbor. You tried everything. You've read everything. You listened. None of it works. I just can't get this monkey off my back. And then what? Sometimes you got to take a chance. Sometimes you have to take a leap of what? Of faith. Yeah. Sometimes you have to do that. This too shall pass. It will get better. I make it through today. And I already flipped it. I made it through that day. Now we're on to a new day. And me just even thinking about, oh my God, it's a new day. That thing, I flipped the page on that deal. We're on to the new thing. That rock has been turned over. It's over there now. I don't have to go back there again. What are we going to do today? Let's make today a day. Let's make it a hell of a day. So when I get out of here, I'm getting really dehydrated. So when I get done with this, look, I'm going to come back. I'm not done with you yet because we still haven't really enjoyed this. So I'm going to drink, get my mouth a little wet. I might have to chew some gum, so you're going to have to deal with some smacking, whatever. You'll get over it. Because I'm starting to talk my way through it. And because you're here, it's helping me. I told somebody this the other day. This is kind of a form of therapy for me. Because sometimes you guys can see more than I can. The camera's on a minute delay, so I can't. I'm looking at something. It's like a time traveling machine, right? I'm looking at something that occurred a minute ago. I don't want to concentrate on that. I can look at the little chat thing, but the way that I'm set up here with the wife, whatever, it's just, there's a lot of lag. In order for it to be smooth, it has to be whatever. So, Nicholas, I do appreciate your investment. That is awesome. Damn right, Tech. I called him a 3-year-old and he blocked me. LOL. Now I don't have to see his dumb comments every 2 seconds. PC checkout move. Hey, listen, man. I wish I don't have it all the way right now, but some of these days, I have it. And it's like I want to share this with someone. And especially people who have seen me in different places, either out of sobriety, different places psychologically in terms of, everything you can imagine. So I feel like, man, if I can do this, anybody can. Because really, and this is dangerous though, because I walked into that meeting and, everybody thinks that they're so different. And some people really are different. But the brotherhood is this one common bond that we have together. And that's why I love and why it's important for me to be amongst men. It's just, whether it's, I played sports all my life, I've done prison, I've been in the car business. These are all things dominated by men. The locker rooms, the football field, the car lot, prison. I love women. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but there are things that we can say to each other. And women who are in here, they're hearing this. I would love to be able to, for you to get a window into, some stuff that you otherwise wouldn't hear. And some of it's nasty. I mean, some of it's stuff you don't, you might turn the other way. But anyway, all right, so fight riffs. I'm at my real job getting paid to shit and watch y'all nerds flail dick in chat. I didn't really see a whole lot of nerds flail dick. I don't see a lot of nerds here, man. I see a lot of people. I just can't imagine. Look, you're either here for the car crash, or you're here to learn something about yourself, or you're here to watch me, experience me learning something, or you're waiting for, the next crazy story, in which case, stay tuned. All right, so obscure Dylan Lehman Anderson revolt. Okay, Keck. I'm lucky you never had a chemical addiction, just had a bad, risky. Look, if anybody has a bad, risky lifestyle addiction, which is, I know that's what you meant, you are that. I've seen the video. That is next level, my friend. All right. I see almost 60 people in here. Why are you guys so obsessed with this person? It is so weird. You realize none of it's real, right? You don't, do you? That's okay. Dude, if Yanni was doing it for the money, he could have ran off with mad shit by now. What? What would I run off with? Are you serious? Oh my goodness. Do a 20 for the song. I don't even, was it, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I might. I thought it was a dance, interpretive dance. You want me to do an interpretive dance for some song? I don't remember what it was. All right, man, you guys. John Wright says, the calmest breakdown I've ever seen. What do you think, I was acting? Do you think it was rehearsed? It's crazy. That's me. I got to vent. Without the vent, it's going to blow. And now I've vented, and I do feel better. I feel like I've spread some positive energy at the end. It took me a while. It took a lot of negative energy for me to get there. But it doesn't matter how you get there. And I got to remember this, I just have to get there, right? And that's where you have to get to if you aren't there. And a lot of you are probably further along than me, and that's great because I'm an open book. I'm happy to learn. All right. Oh, Nicholas, for getting rid of the 2-year. Look, why did you force me to do that? I told you that I did not want to ban anyone from chat. But you clearly are supportive, not supportive, saying you're honest, saying you're just like me. I'll tell you what. Is there any way that we can bring him back? I want to talk to you on Livestream. This is a new feature I want to add where we're not just talking. I'm not just looking at your words, repeating them back to you, interacting with you. I want you. I'm challenging you. When I come back from this break, and I don't even have to pee. I just need to smoke a cigarette. I don't smoke in the house. It smells bad. And this place is turning into a zoo right before my eyes, an insect zoo. But anyway, I would love to give you a platform. You want the attention. Right? You want to spend time with me, or you want to debate with me, or you just want to make faces or call me names or whatever. I mean, I want to give you the opportunity to do it. I personally don't think you have the balls to do it. I think you'll probably hang for about 5 or 10 seconds. You'll freak out and you'll hang up the phone. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll start acting like a decent human being and not twirling around in circles like the Tasmanian devil. Yeah, like the Tasmanian devil, if any of you remember that old cartoon. All right, so I don't know what you guys are talking. Nicholas gets $2.99 for getting rid of the 2-year-old. Thank you very much again for your live stream investment, which is, I'm so excited one of these days, right, to get to the point where this is all better. It looks really warm. I'm actually taking a look at it for the first time, and it looks kind of warm. So I might try and fix that. It's very warm in here. I always have this fire burning in here because I don't have central heat. And it's starting to get cold because in the town that I live, it goes from winter. It goes from winter to summer to winter to summer to winter. There really is no spring. There definitely is no fall. We've gone from 95 to 100 degrees 2 weeks ago to, hey, it's a high of 72 tomorrow or whatever. It's crazy. All right. Maury Povich. Congratulations on getting monetized, Yanni. Are you watching tutorials to learn how to edit, or have you always known how to edit? I watched 2 or 3 videos on how to shoot video. I watched a couple of videos on how to grow a beard. I watched a couple of videos on editing. And that's it. And then I was like, okay, I'll start the YouTube channel. Because I had done like one live stream or something like that before. There was a video that my girlfriend edited. It was like ramen soup bloopers or whatever. And then there was like the inside, prison thing that I was trying to do. But I mean, let's be real. I mean, 240p looks like 4K compared to what that looked like on the VizVox machine. And then, Yanni in rare form tonight. I thought that was every night. That's the whole idea. It's like the Jack in the Box, man. You never know. One of them surprised, one of those, what are those eggs called? The little eggs where the kids open them up. They're making billions of dollars opening these eggs. Or is that something that we're doing years ago? I don't know. I don't watch a lot of kids' YouTube. But yeah, so that's it. I watched a few movies and I was like, oh, that angle over there. Oh, that lighting kind of there. Oh, that music kind of right there. I mean, I can't use all that stuff per se, but maybe I could kind of do it my own way. Watch a few movies, read a few books. It was fun. Let me know if anybody gets that reference. All right. I am so far behind, it's absolutely ludicrous. So I'm just going to zoom ahead. If you had something earth-shattering to say, I can't see. This is the thing. When I actually have a fucking computer and I can see this on the big screen and not have to do this, then we can have more of like a real-time conversation because I love this stuff. It's awesome. I mean, I literally could do it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Imagine if I could do it for days and days and days and days and days. All I need is a bigger monitor or a monitor. Aaron Schmidt, my man, I got to get to sleep. Have a great night, everyone. I'll watch the rest of this tomorrow. And remember, Yanni, fuck the haters, fuck them, and good night. I ought to say that at the end. Okay. Dude, Taco Bell is honestly straight garbage, and I'm going to tell you why. You know why? They got rid of the grilled cheese. That's what they told me at the drive-thru today. Because they have this grilled cheese burrito box. And here's the thing. You get the grilled cheese burrito, it's $2.99. But with tax, food tax here, 10, 12, I don't know what it is where you are, but it's very expensive, right? Then you get a drink. And they don't have the dollar any size drinks at Taco Bell. They're like $2.29 or whatever. So a large whatever with the grilled cheese burrito, it's like almost $6. But you got the box, it's the grilled cheese burrito, you got the twist things, and you got the taco, and then you got the big drink, $4.99. Why would you just, there is literally nothing in the world that drives me crazier than somebody. I'm going with them through the drive-thru and I'll take the grilled cheese burrito. Well, first of all, if we go through the Taco Bell drive-thru, we're already going to have problems. But if they do it this way, where they get the burrito and then get the drink, but they don't realize they can actually save money and get 2 free things at the same time and put a nice little cardboard box on top of it all. Well, I don't want to eat that. Well, who gives a shit? Throw it, give it to someone. I don't know. Feed it to your dog. Jeez, come on, man. Sitting on my leg is very uncomfortable. I just got a lot shorter. All right, so look. So, yeah, we've got... All right, look. So let's just do this, man. Yeah, to my knowledge, Maury Povich says, why did I even look at this? Stop with the revolt thing. I'm seriously, I'm perfectly fine with him coming back. He said some nice things. He said some weird things. I've literally seen this person, just all over the place in other places. He has a very recognizable avatar. It's a big R. New channel feature, every stream Yanni fights someone. I wish I could do that in real life. Because let me tell you something, there's nothing. And this is messed up. You know, I wish I wasn't so old. If it was 20 years ago, I really would. I would go learn how to professionally fight. I don't know how to. I just know how to do it dirty. You know. But if I could do it professionally, the thing about it is once you become a professional fighter though, right? And I know somebody who basically is that. Then it's all technical at that point. And really the pain is just something that's like you develop a technique for dealing with it. It isn't emotional. The more emotional you get, probably the more trouble you're in when you get in the octagon or the ring or whatever. But it sounds like fun. It does. I had a buddy of mine who did a street beefs, Aaron Pizzolides. He is his, which is on the internet, by the way. He's fighting a guy who's much smaller. He's like this little Mexican dude. And, I mean, he's got to outweigh him by like 30 pounds. I don't know if he won or lost or whatever. It was a couple of rounds. Nobody got knocked out or anything, but because it's hard. If any of you guys have ever boxed, I don't know what size the gloves are. I think they're 20 ounces maybe. Maybe they're 16. I don't know. When I boxed, we had 20-ounce gloves, which if you're younger, you're a kid. 20-ounce gloves are huge. They look like something out of a Rock'em Sock'em Rope. I mean, they're just huge. It looks like something out of a video game. Very hard to knock somebody out with that much batting. You either got a chin made of just pure porcelain or, you know, you've got a sledgehammer, you know, heavier than shafts. Heavier than that hammerhead. You know what I'm talking about, that old hammerhead. Well, that's something you hear a lot in prison, man. Yo, we got him with that hammerhead. You know the hammerhead. You know what the hammerhead is, right? But that would be awesome. I would love to do Randy Savage. Hey, Yanni, what do you think about cropsicles? Yeah. Dude, sometimes I can dial in the Randy Macho Man. I can't do it tonight. I'm just too parched. I'm sorry. Because you've heard it before and you know it was decent. Wasn't great, but. By the way, YouTube video, the one where Randy Macho Man Savage, I'm not a big wrestling fan per se, or really a fan at all. But this guy was a real original. And he has one where he's constantly pulling, what is he doing? It's amazing. He's pulling quarters or stuff out of Mean Gene Okerlund's pockets and like he's a magician. And it's literally one of the greatest YouTube clips of all time. Right along with the first Ed Bassmasters, Would You Look at That? I only saw that like 6 months ago. I wouldn't stop saying it for a month. Or it was like 7 months. I was at the car lot constantly. I can't do it. My mouth is so dry. I can't ever do impressions when my mouth is dry because my roof, you know, my roof sticks to my tongue. Let me get a little moisture in there. Dude, I'm setting myself, never do I set myself up for the, like, just get tripped. Thank God we didn't do it today because I'd get smoked. All right. Some of it is the liver. Bob Lazar, I used to listen to him when we had radios sometimes. I think he was on the late night alien show. I mean, it's all mostly horse shit or whatever, but it was entertaining. All right. Yes, I am I'm literally, there's a phone right here. And so usually at this point in time, after I've live streamed for a little while, like 2 hours, which I ought to just pick a topic, talk about it for 30 minutes, and then boom, here's your video. I could literally do, if I wanted to make money on YouTube, big money, R. Kelly all day. We're going to talk about what it's like to be R. Kelly in prison, what it's like to, show you a picture of the prison that he's in Chicago. You can bet your ass. There's going to be multiple prison YouTubers tomorrow or the day after. You know. How is R. Kelly doing time? What does minor injuries really mean? Was he really injured, or is this just a ploy to get him out of prison? Was it a setup? Was he really hurt, or was it just a tool used by his lawyers to get him out of prison or while locked up? I mean, this stuff writes itself. And then you get into the case, and then you get into marriage certificates, and you get into the Lifetime or whatever documentary about all the sex trafficking and sex slaves. You throw a couple clips in there. Nobody's going to do that. They're going to do it the lazy way. They're going to show a couple of pictures, if that. They're going to talk about what times, like for R. Kelly, they don't know. Is he in PC? They don't have a clue. Maybe they do. I don't know. I didn't do a deep dive on it, but I'm just saying. This stuff, guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's not hard. It isn't hard. I mean, it isn't hard for me. What's hard about it is I don't want to do it. But if I wanted to just make money emulating other people on YouTube, copying their shtick, beating everyone to the punch, because I'm up. You know, y'all might think it's meth or whatever. Most of you don't. Most of you know that it's not. This is me. You figured that out now. And I love you for that. I do. But I could beat everyone to the punch. You want to talk about the breaking prison stories that would be huge on YouTube? Usually celebrities, rappers. It isn't hard. You just have to be first. And if I really wanted to crank out, the editing is not, you guys think it's just a little bit of work, a little bit of effort. Sometimes it's a lot more than you would think. Sometimes it's a little less than you'd think. But if I don't have to worry about respecting someone, like I don't have to worry about, I don't want to ruin this person's life type of thing, then it's a lot easier than you'd think. Oh, or I could do a green screen. Oh my God. Yeah. Because I don't know anything about green screens. I've never used a green screen before. I mean, here we are, we're masking titles, cutting to music, multiple layers, and I'm doing it with garbage. Can you imagine if I had a new computer from mommy, i.e. not mommy, know what I mean? Can you imagine if I had a brand new camera that could communicate with my brand new computer? You don't want to see that because then stuff comes out 3 times as fast and 10 times as good. That could be dangerous. I might melt the whole genre. And the fact of the matter is I don't want to take food out of people's mouths. You have a family to feed. You have to take care of your dogs, your mortgages, your whatever, your ego. Look, I don't want to get in the way of that. That's not that important to me until it is. King Cyrex says, if someone super chatted $1,000, didn't I say I was going to take $1,000, would you live stream in a pink thong? You say asking for a friend. I don't believe you have any friends. I'm pretty sure that no one likes you. Because if you ever said anything like that out loud, I'm pretty sure any company that you keep would exit the premises. And if they didn't, the answer is yes, absolutely. If you give me $1,000, I'll give you a pink thong, no problem. I'd make it any color you want. You want rainbow, you want purple, polka dot, plaid, houndstooth. I got you, pimp. So yeah, I'm asking you to put in fact, I'll even do this. I will make $500 down, $250 in 2 payments. Oh, by the way, Johnny James donated $2.50, invested $2.50 earlier, and said, English, please. Not Johnny James. Too late. Sorry. I appreciate it. I've seen you from back in the day. You were like Johnny Bones. Now you're Johnny James. You have the whole leg. You're like Mr. Glass from Unbreakable, or Mr. Glass, or whatever. Yeah. Heart goes out to you, buddy. Doing heroin. But you do it on maintenance. I remember you saying, I don't have any respect for someone who's, look, and I appreciate your investment, but I'm going to give you the respect that you gave me when you wrote me a long post. I do remember what you said. I did say I agree with some of that. Maybe at some point we'll unpack it and get into more of that, but I appreciate just tipped $1.50. I appreciate the tip. I mean, that's what you get for good service. I'm not saying that's what I'm doing, but I appreciate the gesture. Thank you very much, asshole. You have my favorite name on the internet. All right. Yeah, Coast to Coast. That's what it was called. There was a guy. He was my best friend in prison. He was a murderer. I told you about him before. He's got a life sentence right now. Got out, he murdered somebody or killed them, whatever. 25 years he did. I don't mean to minimize it, but he did 25 years, got out for 5 years, and then killed somebody again. Coast to coast. He would come out when the bars or the cell door popped. And we would sit there and we'd play Castle and Casino, two of the games that I cannot stand at all. I mean, they're okay. There's just not a lot to them. A lot of it's just the cards you get. Very simple games. But Frank was, in his way, a complex man, but very simple in expression. So the card games said a lot about him. But it gave us an opportunity to worry about other things and talk about other things. And Frank was a very interesting person. Damn, Keck. Dude, Yanni, I can be your mommy.
I can be your mommy. I got the cam and mic ready for you, and I can also get a pretty new laptop to you.
Move to a new desktop. No homo, though. I've seen your video. I'm going to take your word on that. No questioning from me. Dude, listen. You got it. I appreciate it. I worked with a guy, Fiji Water, to Obscurity Master. I'm just curious. Oh, really? I worked with a guy who was way into it. I used to listen to Rents a long time ago. I should probably give him. So this is probably the aliens. That's my crowd, right? I mean, that's you. This is when Coast to Coast would be on. As much as I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, after the experience I had this week, and look, if something happens with this, like it could, I will talk about it. Let's hope it doesn't and I don't have to. I will say this. Well, I'll tweet it or something. Asshole said, thanks for all the content, the great content, Yanni. Don't spend it all in one place. Look, you're crazy. If you think for a second, now I know I got off to a rough start here, but listen, once again, I am going to take a break here in about 1 minute, and let's go ahead and get the countdown going there. I'm going to come back for maybe 30 minutes or something. I know I say that, and then it's like another 4 or 5 hours. You just never know. But I gotta get my mouth wet. I might come back with some gum. Give me the comments from 329 on. If you already typed something, I didn't see it. I promise from 329 on, I'm going to read it like the Micro Machines guy, but I'm going to give you an answer to the best of my ability. And Alex Jones? I don't know. I mean, that guy's, come on. I'm not going to. I mean, you think I have problems? Oh, my God. I don't really know. Look, man, I really don't know a whole lot about some of them. So anyway, so listen, again, celebrate the monetization. I believe I've made $1.43 in the last 3 or 4 days that I've been monetized. So what can you say, but don't spend all that in one place. So give me a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and fade on out. Maybe the Nickelback music. I'm sorry about that. That was not intentional. If that's what was coming out of your speakers, your headphones, your phone, your laptop, your TV, please accept my deepest apologies. Give me one more chance. I promise I'll make it worth your while. What'd you think about the intro? I believe you. I got to say this comment real quick. Thanks for the shout out. Got to go and score before curfew. Why do you have a curfew? Oh, for COVID. All my motivations are for the future decriminalization of drugs, which can never happen unless we stop demonizing and blaming drugs for people's behavior. Well, it's not that simple, right? You don't really think it's that simple. I understand where you're coming from, and I don't disagree with a lot of the stuff that you say, but it just isn't that simple. What do you do with someone who does commit a crime to obtain drugs? Anyway, I understand regulation, put it in 7-Eleven, put it in Quick Trip, put it in whatever, put it in there, put it in CVS, put it in Walgreens, put it in Rite Aid. Does Rite Aid even exist anymore? Put it in there. Tax the shit out of it. It'll still be way cheaper than anything you can possibly imagine, but the freedom will be there. The decriminalization will happen. People won't be doing time for nothing. But I don't know. I mean, smarter people than myself will have to make those decisions, but it's definitely an interesting conversation to have for sure. All right, so anyway, I know it said something about an interpretive dance. What do I do? I mean, whoa, something's like getting into me. This is my impression of Revolt. Come on, man, hit me up. Let's get him back in here and let's do. And here's the thing. He's liked everything in my videos. I know I've seen him. He's liked it. Yanni, you're doing a great job. You're doing the Lord's work. The last thing I want to do is be a jerk to somebody. I want to be honest with you, but the last thing I want to do is just smoke you for no reason. But, I mean, you're just ruining it for everybody else. You're ruining it for other trolls. And if you think, no, that's just me. That's just how I am. You love me one minute, you hate me the next. You love this person, you hate them the next. You're giving me advice. You're jumping off a cliff. Buddy, you appear to be mentally unstable. Jesus Christ. You appear to be mentally unstable, and that's okay. In that way, we are not so different. But in every other way, we are nothing alike. However, that's my opinion. I don't know you. You might be somebody I know. Possible. But anyway, what are we waiting on? Yo, big facts. Am I even talking to anybody? Oh, here we go.
Everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember. And the lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just remember. Just remember. Just remember. Just remember. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just remember. Just remember. Just remember. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just remember. Just remember. Just remember. Just remember. When the lights are out and you stumble in the dark, you kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just remember. Just remember. Just remember. Just remember.
Okay, we are back and live, even though me personally, as far as what I can see, I'm on a full-blown tape delay. Again, excuse me, I am chewing a little bit of gum. I'm gonna pop this bad boy here. What is it? Is it Schlitz? Is it the malt liquor bowl? You know what's funny about that? My stepdad called me up today. And, oh, wow. So my stepdad called me up today, and he said, so what's this about malt liquor? We literally had a 10-minute conversation about whether I had relapsed on malt liquor. He said, why are you drinking malt liquor? I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, I saw a video that you did. I said, this is shocking to me. First of all, he didn't just watch it. He watched one of these live streams. And it was the one that I did that was like 8 hours. And there was somebody's name or somebody said something about malt liquor and I made a joke about malt liquor. And now I hadn't relapsed on anything else, but I had been, or something. I don't even remember exactly what it is I said because half the time I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth. But it was really, I had to explain to him, no, it was just a joke. Doesn't even matter how long I've been sober. Doesn't even matter that we speak almost every day. He still believed if I said I had malt liquor in a throwaway comment or I read somebody's name that had malt liquor in it, then I must be drinking malt liquor. Believe me, if I was going to relapse, the last thing I'd be relapsing on was malt liquor. I think I was explaining what a club tail was. All right. So let's go back to right around the beginning. All right. Excuse the gum chewing. All right. Alex Jones. I don't really know much about Alex Jones other than I think there was like a video I saw of him, I don't know, being drunk or something. I'm not even trying. Look, I'm willing to go into all sort of briar patches. I'll stick my hands in poison ivy, poison oak. I'll even stick my hand in a man of war. The giant jellyfish. It's like the most poisonous creature in the world. I'm sure it's not, and somebody can correct me. Please feel free. But I don't know what's going on there. I'd be lying if I said I did, because I don't. All right. Boy, talk about fixing some laws. If only I could tell you. All right, so looking good. Yanni, Tammy G says, looking good, Yanni. Tammy G, right back at you. You are an absolute saint. Registered nurse in the house, Tammy G. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you are. Using your real name. You got to have a lot of guts to come into a place like this, into a live chat on YouTube, especially one of my live chats, and use your real name. If you did have balls, Tammy, they'd be made out of granite. And maybe you do, and I'm not trying to freak you out. Okay, so Fiji Water. Call. That sounds about right. I saw Thor the trucker shave his beard, and he looked like a kid. Holly Bing says, what the hell is normal anyway? Keck has got like a figure of a ninja or something. I didn't even know that was possible. How did you do that? That's amazing. Kelly Wilson said he works for Oscar Schindler. He is useless. I get it's a reference to Schindler's List. Obscurity Master says, real time, let's smoke. Yes, smoke time. Smoke them if you got them. I like prison POV these days. You've said that a million times. Never. I've heard of it only because you've mentioned it. Have I seen it? No, I have not. And I would tell you if I had. I mean, I've seen a little bit of just about every prison thing. I mean, it may be amazing. I doubt it. But maybe it is. Maybe it's phenomenal. And I'm missing the whole thing. I might watch. See, here's the thing. Like, I really don't watch this stuff. Someone even gave me some links. They were like, you need to check out Soft White Underbelly. Or there was something called The Nameless People. And I watched a little bit of it, and I said, well, what you're doing really reminds me of what they're doing. Or something to that effect. And I said, well, the last thing I want to do is watch something that's in the same vein or same, no pun intended. The last thing I want to do is watch something that's in the same kind of ballpark, stratosphere, sport, the same field that I'm doing because it could influence how I make it, especially if it's much more popular. Then I'll start copying what they're doing, and I won't copy it, but I'll like, well, they're doing that, so I need to be doing that. And that is a way to be an imitator. And look, you can imitate people on this platform and make money. If all I wanted to do was make money, I know how to make money. Now YouTube is a lot of it is kind of you have to be lucky, right place, right time type thing. And a lot of it's like being really topical and making shorter videos that are very compact and have a list and that kind of thing. I mean, that's not that hard to do. All right. I'm sorry about that song, by the way. That was terrible. I mean, that's absolutely terrible. Justin K says, hey, Mike, it's me, Justin. Not the right Justin, but that's my name. But Justin never got back to you, but I hope he does. He did not, and I do too. I do too. I haven't let it go entirely, but I've kind of let go beating myself up over it. All right. King Malice, congrats on the getting monetized, man. Proud of all the hard work you put into everything. Keep it up. Well, I apologize. Here's what's crazy to me, right? I could literally do these live streams and throw them, do hours of stuff, which I'm not going to lie. Part of it was in my, forget it. You throw a little catchy title on there, put a cool thumbnail. A lot of times I didn't for the live streams. Obviously the link will tell you. All you have to do is look at the timer. You know that this is not like a video. But yeah, freedom of speech is important, right? This is not, the government, though. So I guess if someone is deplatformed, I do need to get a haircut and get my beard done. Oh my goodness gracious! Oh, Chris Palmer says good stream so far. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to just go ahead and just the entire time just kind of talk like this. Why not? I always say that my real voice, this broadcast quality, game show host voice, or narrator voice, or whatever you want to call it. It's not my real voice. It's completely fabricated. My real voice, this is actually my real voice. I've got a little bit of a speech impediment, everything. That's just how I talk. You ever remember that guy Shiflett? Woo-wee! Look at them crabs, they're huge. That's terrible. So even with the gum, even with the drink, it's still it's a lot of hit and miss here. All right, big facts. Box jellyfish. Although the Australian box I love the big facts. The guy's amazing. Although the Australian box jellyfish just misses having the most potent venom, it is the most deadly. What the hell? What does that even mean? It has the most potent venom. No, it doesn't have the most potent venom, but it is the most deadly. I'm very confused. I wonder who Fiji Water is. King Mal, hey King, good to see you in the chat. Miss you on Reddit. Let me give a big round of applause for Reddit. It's got to be the most honest corner of the internet. It's not really a social media platform, but it kind of is. I would say, in a way, the most weird, perverted, depraved, but thoughtful people probably reside on Reddit. There's a lot of very, very, very bright minds and a lot of dangerous minds on Reddit. You just never know. Oops. All right, Daddy Long Leg. Okay, so, all right, look, real quick. We got 44 people in the chat. As soon as we dip below 40, we're wrapping it up. Now, I want you guys to direct the chat at me. I'm completely caught up. If there's something that you mentioned before and you'd like me to bring or say or whatever, go ahead and do it right now because that's what we're doing right now. This is the live stream celebration. We're doing 10 minutes at 4 o'clock. It's 3:51 right now. Forget about the 40. I'm cutting it off because I am actually very tired and I have to get a lot of stuff done tomorrow. Would you like another video? Tell me. And there's a good topic for you. Give me a clue. Justin K says, I can tell from the interview, Justin was probably not telling his whole story. Who is telling the whole story? We're talking about the sum total of a man's life, how he got to this place. Of course, it's a little game of show and tell. I'm showing you everything, I'm telling you nothing. But I think Justin was very genuine and sincere. And this is the thing that bothers me, because right there at that moment in time, he was ready. Had I been able to act at that point in time, had I had the resources to do that, I truly believe that he would have been in a good position right now. You know, you let somebody stay on the street another week, and who knows, especially with a drug like meth, with ice, with Tina, with shards, with boot. The delusion, the paranoia. I mean, I have enough of that on my own. But man, you mix that into the equation and you stay up long enough. God only knows. You want to talk about paranormal? Because Keck says, what do you think about paranormal shit? Well, I think you smoke enough meth, you shoot enough ice. That's all you'll think about is paranormal shit. That's what I think about it. All right, so I'm going to take requests. We're at 43 right now. Like I said, I'm going to shut it down in 7 minutes. Everything you read, I will read. So type as quickly as you possibly can. I'm probably going to need to sit down for this rather than sit on my ankle. So, just in case says, okay, we're going to start right here with Keck at 3:53 a.m. Keck says, I've never had anything paranormal happen to me, but I think you mentioned something about having something odd happen to you or see something odd. I have, I will, I'll discuss it. And it involves a heroin/fentanyl overdose. Fiji Water says, King Malice, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life. In Espanol. That was freaking inspired. Your talent is wasted on these fools, but I appreciate, I guess, the facts of life in Spanish. Who wouldn't appreciate the facts of life? You have to be very old and very South American and or Mexican and or Spanish in order to really appreciate the facts of life in Spanish. That's a lot of things that have to line up for you to get there. It's weird. All right. Christopher Palmer says, you should do a 24-hour live stream. I should do a 24-day live stream. What do you think this beard would look like? What do you think I would look like? What do you think my brain would look like at the end of something like that? King Malice says, LMAO. Just in case says, you can't hold a meth addict down. That's for sure. Don't really know what you mean by that. You'd be surprised, if properly motivated, what I could hold down. I mean, if you can hold down a club tail, and you can hold down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them, you can hold down quite a bit. And I've done it. I'll never do it again, hopefully, but I've done it. John Meehan says, half the people I talk to at the trap talk about rehab don't mean anything. Half the people I talk to at the trap talk about rehab. You'll have to unpack that. Okay, Randy Savage says, do I think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone? I do not think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. In fact, I'll actually tell you, we actually dip below 40, but that's okay, because now you've got me on something I'm really interested in. I do not think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. I think that it is possible. If he was the lone shooter, I don't believe that his that he didn't have co-conspirators. I don't believe he was the lone shooter. The magic bullet theory is ridiculous, and I did see the PBS documentary about the way that, the bullet in the Mannlicher Carcano, flipped around in the Jello or whatever. And, it's kind of like Jim Garrison says through the voice of Kevin Costner, is that you can prove, with theoretical physics, you can prove that an elephant can hang off a cliff with its tail tied to a dandelion. But use your eyes, use your ears. Believe me, what do you mean really try in real life? It's not going to be try. I'm going to be doing IRL streaming. Fiji Water says, you'd look like the Unabomber after 24 days. You're not wrong. I'm almost there now. You ought to see me in my camouflage Woodrow Wilson jacket. All right. Tammy G says, my son is on meth and still in a psychosis. There you go. I mean, the residue of that doesn't always leave. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Has it left me? I don't know. You be the judge. Keck says, I think it would be amazing. I also think it would be amazing. I don't even think it would be amazing. I know it would be amazing. And that's not ego. That's just what it is. Christopher Palmer says, get rid of the beard, Gandalf. Are you the one that calls me Yandalf? I think you are. Maybe I'm wrong. I love that name. Fiji Water says, Oswald really was a patsy. Yeah, we don't even know. Did he even fire a shot? I'm just a patsy is what he said. He didn't say it like that. JFK is one of my top 10 movies of all time. Not just because it's about the JFK assassination. That's just window dressing, as Donald Sutherland says in the film. You know, it's not about the who. It's about the why. It's not about the how. It's about the motivation behind it. All right, Yanni, you just came with me to score LOL. So that means you took me in the car with you to cop? I can't be an accessory to whatever it is you're doing in whatever country it is you're doing it with. I mean, my luck is so wonderful that I could probably go to jail for riding shotgun on a phone. I mean, you could literally have me on your phone, put it in the passenger seat, and somehow I'd get charged as an accessory. That's probably I hate playing the victim. It's something that drives me crazy. I'm not immune to doing it myself, but my God, man, the last thing that I hate is seeing someone play a victim, especially all the time. I'm thinking of someone. Anyway, so Keck says, yeah, hell yeah. I can't wait to see some more IRL streams. You got it. King Malice says, my book series releases on Amazon Monday worldwide titled Killing for Content, based on a social media serial killer trying to convince Yanni to play lead in the web series. Okay, that's news to me. I did know that you had written a book or were writing a book. I don't remember the trying to convince me to play the lead in the web series. Look, the last thing I want to be, I mean, I'm willing to play the role. If it's written well enough, sure, I'm willing to give it a shot. You know, it'd be fun. I'd love to do this on a live stream. Is a read-through. So look, if you did have a script and you'd like for me to audition for the part live, I think that would be neat. I think that would be pretty cool. I'm way too tired to get into it right now, but that would be dope. It's already 4 o'clock. I'm a liar already. All right, so Justin K says, I still don't get how people can so easily get into living your shit. I mean, I get, and I know that's a contradiction. Oh, IVing your shit. But I cannot stand seeing people shoot up, and I hate needles. Well, look, Christopher Palmer says, I farted. That might be enough to get you to shoot an IV drug, to go ahead and get on the needle. Anything to get me away from the smell, because that's another thing. Like, when you do drugs that way, it does mess with your taste, touch, and smell, your olfactory senses. I mean, it's immediate. It's so different. I'm not saying I don't miss some of that, because it gets you out of everything, but it's so short term and it's such a disaster. There is nothing, a drink or a drug in my life, a drink or a drug that would do to my life but make it worse. It wouldn't take long. 5 or 10 minutes, it'd be worse. Holly Bing says, maybe he finally copped some booty and he's proud, LMFAO. I don't really know what you're talking about. Johnny James says, that's where you are, bro. Passenger seat. Riding shotgun. That's good, because I got my hands free. That's where I can make the most moves. You know what I'm saying? Shotgun? Yeah. All right. Justin K says, yeah, I've heard that as well. The taste, the touch, and the smell. Rather than hear it, you ought to try it. I'm just kidding. Big Fact says, King Malice, killing for content, Robert C. Christopher Palmer, you make me laugh. So nobody had like a top, some suggestions for me to, that's okay. I'd rather just go ahead and do what I want to do, and then I'll just surprise you, because in a lot of cases, you don't know what you want until you see it. Like the end of this live stream. You didn't know you wanted to see the end of it until we got there. And we're there. So, break out the champagne, non-alcoholic, of course. Put the L in the wind if that's how you roll. You crack the old duels, the Coors Cutter. Does anybody? Coors Cutter. Horrible. But listen, we've already come a long way. I've been doing this for about a month. Already made it to the monetization stage, or past it actually. I mean, I've been approved, whatever. And they are, Google or AdSense or YouTube or whatever is saying, look, this stuff has value. It has educational value. Maybe not the live streams. I mean, the only value these live streams really have, they're probably worse than drugs. They say drinking a beer eats something like 10,000 brain cells. This probably eats at least 10 times that. At least this one anyway. But, well, so the first time, I'll tell you this real quick. The first time Keck says, all good things must come to an end. Really, though, call me or message me on Insta tomorrow, man, so I can get that shit to you. You got it, buddy. You got it, buddy. That's another thing. If anyone would like to, donate gear, I need to get a P.O. box. I always love these. Tell us what's next for the channel, what gear you're getting, and what direction you're going. So I've already, I did get the step-up rings, which I accidentally ordered step-down rings, which is another story, for filter to shoot in daylight. I was on the fence about, and I have gotten a gimbal stabilization system for my camera. The problem is the weight of it and everything kind of, like if you saw, I used it in some of the Charlottesville stuff, and you could see the flicker because the balancing, the servo motors in it, especially when they start to kind of give out. And I'm just now wrapping my mind around, or we are wrapping our minds around how to most effectively use it. I mean, I know what I want, but, executing and getting there are two different things. And moving so fast, it makes it hard to get, exactly what you want. I need cooperation from other people. I need cooperation from society, the public at large, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm getting there. So that's one thing. And then the other thing was a portable light that I could take with me, because I really like night shooting. I feel like people are more comfortable at night, especially in the seedier recesses, the dark underbelly, the soft white underbelly of American society and East Coast. I mean, but I also want to get into some more positive, there are a lot of people that are willing to get into, who have a lot of time in sobriety, and they have very interesting stories, they're very interesting people. I've told you about some of them, and it's just a matter of like lining it up, filling in the blanks. I've got some footage here. I need to reschedule and get with some stuff there. So tomorrow, I'm either going to finish up a video with a buddy of mine who was in rehab, went to furlough. He's got furloughed. I've already told you about that. So there's that. The next thing would be Steve from the BBC. I'm trying to figure out the live stream Q&A, because what I wanted to do in my mind, I was like, okay, so I'm going to do like 30 minutes, split screen, kind of like a Zoom, but then open it up to a Q&A. So where you can ask somebody who's really done, over 10 years in prison. It was a real deal, verified on film. Big time drug mule. Literally, transporting a lot of weight across international waters in airplanes and boats. I thought that would be really cool to give people the opportunity to ask that person questions. And that one would, of course, be much more heavily moderated, because I want them to be legitimate. Like, hey, man, what did you think about the Fire Whopper? Or what do you think about the Grilled Cheese Burrito, not being on the menu anymore? Nobody, so there's that. The other thing is my social experiment that I'm waiting on the ability to have an internet connection in a mobile fashion. I don't have that right now. As crazy as it seems, I don't have that. So next piece of equipment. So the problem is I need big stuff, right? So I need a new computer, not a 10-year-old computer, a newer computer. The live stream quality would be improved immeasurably, not only by that, but then, the whole capture setup. And that way we can share a screen. I can get on the road. There are so many things that are just untapped. And then the other thing is a camera that's not, 7 years old. It just doesn't communicate with the stabilization system. It doesn't communicate with the computer. I have to jump through a lot of hoops and go through a lot of obstacles to get all this stuff to kind of work together. And the functionality is super, super, super limited. So the next thing I'm going to get is a tripod that's fast. Because I needed to pop and go. The only one that I have left, I had another prison YouTuber that I loaned one to. And when I got it back, it was kind of broke after a couple of years. And it was light and it was, kind of not super state of the art or whatever. Yeah, so all of my stuff, just in case, says can help you with making a computer that does what you want for $500 or so. I seriously doubt it's going to do what I want for $500 or so. I can't imagine it would do anything better than what I have. I mean, maybe it would. Here's the problem. Now you got to get into Adobe stuff, which I don't have. You have to pay a huge monthly fee for that. It's like $70 a month when you get the entire suite. Prorate that out over a year, right? I mean, that's like that's $1,000 basically. I don't know what Afterpay is. I have to go back and look like what you're talking about. So ideally, new computer or newer computer. I use a Mac for that. Maybe I need to jump off a Mac, but all of my software is, Apple stuff. And I get that Apple is, tool of the devil. Doesn't play games, all that stuff. I mean, I get that, but it's just easier for me because I understand it, I know it. The only thing I really use it for is this, honestly. So that is a new tripod. Lav mics is huge because the audio and some of the street stuff that I've done, I like the flavor of the outside sounds. I want people to know that this isn't a green screen, that we're shooting on. That it is on the street. On the other hand, you want to be able to hear the dialogue nice and clean. And especially with me, if I'm doing stuff, obviously I'm not going to reveal, peel the curtain back so much, but the fact of the matter is that people expect me not to be standing behind a camera and talking in a stationary manner. I don't like sitting still. This is not torture to me because there's so many messages coming so fastly and so furiously through the live chat that it's a challenge sort of to kind of keep up with it sometimes, especially today. What are you talking about? What is the weird thing? I think even Apple is like politicized. Like if you like Apple, then you're like a certain kind of person. Like you're kind of like a snooty, yuppie, hipster type. They last forever. Right? I mean, they're just, the security is better. I say that, and I have multiple IP attacks recently. Whatever. What it is, yeah, the whey protein. Lies that whey protein is but a prop. That is a prop. It is that is not real. This is a green screen, obviously. I mean, let's just cut the crap, right? That's what it is, so whatever. So maybe a green screen for a couple of things, right? There are ways that I can utilize that in an interesting way. I mean, I definitely don't want to rely on that because it's boring. And you got to sit in the chair. The more I'm out of here, the healthier I am up here. And the healthier I am up here, the quicker I can think on my feet, come up with solutions. Because filmmaking is a lot about solutions on the fly. I mean, unless you have a giant crew and a huge budget, which I have none of that, and I never will. Or at least not on YouTube, I won't. Until I'm directing, a multi-million-dollar film, which, who knows? Maybe that'll happen one day. I'm getting off to a very late start. So, pie in the sky, right? You can hope, you can dream. You can visualize it, maybe it'll happen. But really, on this platform with what I have right now, you got to keep it simple. And look, I pay you commission on each copy sold. Hit me up on Reddit. I'll hook you up. I don't know. So there is that. I mean, mobile stands, right? I cannot see a lot of look. So let me fill you in on something. If you only, I don't want to turn the camera around yet. But the way I have this set up, and there's a person on here or two that's actually seen it, or they've seen a picture of it. Please do not send it or share it with anyone else. But this is the ultimate pastiche. It's like a Jenga set built to the ceiling, from the floor to the ceiling. And if you just blow on it, it'll all topple over. I mean, I am surrounded by a spider web of stuff. It's a very claustrophobic. I mean, if you are claustrophobic, you're going to have a problem in this seat right here. So the gear that I need is a computer. Doesn't have to be new, but I have to at least update to the new operating system, which I can't. So I don't have the newest software because I can only go as far as a Catalina, High Sierra on the Mac. And so because you have to have at least Mojave in order to get the newest versions of, you guys don't care about this. So we've got to cut this out at the end, but that's it. So you have to keep in mind all that stuff. So really it's a microphone thing. It's an immediate pressing need. I'm real limited in what I can do with my camera because I only have one decent lens. The other one is, you can't shoot at night with it. It just isn't fast enough to shoot at night. And I'm sure some of you guys know what I mean. Most of you don't. Maybe you do. I don't know. But it's just not fast enough. And so the debate is, do I get the big fast lens to shoot with my old camera? But still, it doesn't solve any of my other problems, but I get better looking footage. Or do I save up a little more and then, get the better camera that does a lot more for me? And so you have to decide, am I gonna be doing this or earning enough? I mean, you don't get paid from YouTube, but once every month, and I don't even know how that works since I just got monetized. And let's be real, you know what's projecting me to make this year? $800. That's my projection for the next 12 months, $800. And that's with me growing at the rate that they think I'm going to grow. Because unless you guys are willing to share, have some friends, subscribe to the channel, watch the channel, I'm not going to beg you, but that kind of thing. If you think anybody would be interested in it, maybe just play it in the background when you go to sleep. I don't know. I have no idea. Social media is something that I really don't know anything about. I can't even figure out how to do an embed on Instagram. All this other stuff that we can do in terms of editing, even thumbnails are progressively getting better, but performing worse. I don't know. It's just, it is, I'm going to go back to, whatever. So anyway, so that's where I'm at with it. And that's it. I mean, I told you I was going to stop and I didn't stop. It's 4:16. I'm 16 minutes over. I gotta go to sleep so I can make some stuff, and have it uploaded for you. If not tomorrow, maybe I'll try and do another live stream. I need to start deleting these, right? Because I don't need the hours or whatever for monetization purposes. And honestly, how many people, it seems like a lot of people go back and watch these more so than the videos. I just can't believe the boot camp video. I thought that was a good video. Put work into it, whatever, because you can't even understand what's happening next unless you see that, because you got to do the prison ate a man's face, then the boot camp, and then the next one, which I got to clear all this crap out of the way in order to finish that. So if you really want to save money, there are services out there where someone else owns the hardware and you just remotely log into it. Might actually be one of your best ways for now to do what you want. I would never do that. I would never do that. Do you realize how many weird IP attacks I've had? on my Mac in the last 2 weeks. I mean, I've literally had somebody somehow get into my, and this isn't conspiracy talk, I could show it to you. I could show you the screen caps. So I have to, firm that up, and I don't know, man. Anyway, look, that doesn't matter. I appreciate everybody coming in and celebrating the monetization of the channel. The best thing that you could do for me, if you didn't want to invest in terms financially, that's fine. Okay. If you don't like the video, that's fine. I don't want you to like it unless you like it. I know I'm supposed to at the end of the video. Please like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I see a lot of people begging people to do that. Look, if you don't know how to do that already, then honestly, I don't think I even want you watching my channel because you're a moron. I'm just being honest. If you're insulted by that, sorry. I'm just being honest. Now, if you need me to remind you constantly to do that, again, you have the attention span of a Yanni. I mean a goldfish. I mean a fruit fly. And I understand that. Anyhow. That's it. Thank you so much for hanging with me. I've already learned a whole lot about this. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned that I need a lot more work internally to get to where I want to be, to find peace and to find freedom mentally and psychologically. But hopefully together, you guys will help me get there, and you could see me kind of go along the way. And all these people that think that they have it all figured out, they might not. And maybe through osmosis, through transmission and sharing of information and data, we can get to that place where we can be free. So, good night, good morning, good luck, good riddance.